Hello and welcome back to the channel. Watford in Crisis is the title of the video. And whilst that might seem like a slight over exaggeration, it does feel like our season and club, day by day, week by week, is slowly but surely falling apart. I'm devastated to hear the news today that Stephen Mfuni has been recalled by Manchester City due to a season-ending injury. I watched the match in full here live on the Watford Way, and at the time his injury didn't seem too significant, but as revealed by the Watford Observer, Mfuni has travelled back up north and won't be seen at Vicarage Road for the rest of this season. And I have to say, I do now fear for Ed Still and his Watford future. I don't think they will sack him before the end of this season. That would be a ludicrous thing to do, even for us. But just because now of the injury list we have and our current form, I can't see where our next win is coming from. I just want to take you through the injured players and players in doubt, actually, for our match against Wrexham tomorrow night at Vicarage Road. I'll go through player by player here, and Tom Bodell has posted a nice list on Twitter. Ngakia, injured until at least after the international break, we assume. Hector Cipriani, injured until the end of this season with an ankle issue. Matty Pollock, a doubt for tomorrow. Luka Kiramgard, another doubt for tomorrow's game. Rocco Vata out until the end of this season with an injury. Pierre Duomo, nowhere to be seen. Eduardo Bove and Pierre Ekwa, two additions in the January transfer window which are meant to strengthen us. Both of those players have yet to start games for us this season. Stephen Mfuni out again with an injury. Jeremy Petrie, dislocated shoulder. Kwadwo Bar, muscular injury. And Othmane Mama, again out until after the international break with another issue. I can't believe that. It is unbelievable that we find ourselves here once again. I don't think you can necessarily attribute the blame on our injury list to one specific person. Clearly, it has been a chaotic season, and as professional athletes and professional footballers, it can't be too helpful having three different managers with three different philosophies and probably three different training schedules, right? Paolo Pezzolano came in during the summer and was quite heavy on energy levels and stamina, making sure his team could compete physically for the full 90 minutes. Javi Gracia, our happy Spaniard, seemed to be a bit more laid back and traditional in his training methods. And Ed still relies more on data and shorter, more explosive training sessions from what we gather. So three different managers, three different ideas, three different schedules when it comes to training. If I was a player, I wouldn't like that, and I'm sure our squad don't either. What is the aim now for the remainder of this year? We have a decimated squad. There's probably 5 or 6 players at least who know they're leaving this summer and making moves to arguably better leagues or bigger clubs. I think it's time now to plan for next season. We're not in a relegation battle. We're not in a promotion race. We know whatever happens, we will be in the Championship come next year. The task now for the club and Ed Still is to, for me, try some of our players who haven't actually featured as much in recent weeks. Give Formos Mendy a go, for example. Jack Greaves, I felt, against Bristol City in the Cup, performed at quite a high level. He scored in that game as well. Let's see if he is capable of making that step up. The same can be applied to Amin Nabazada, Pierre Ekwa as well. We have an option to buy him in the summer. I'd love to see more of him in the next few weeks. Eduardo Bove is the same as well. We know Loser will be off and Bove will kind of be our star man, you would assume, in midfield next year. Let's give these players minutes, opportunities to impress, and see what Ed Steele can do in the final few weeks. We've gone through our fixtures for the weeks ahead. Wrexham, of course, as I alluded to, up next tomorrow. I don't think that's going to be a pretty sight at Vicarage Road. If I'm to give you an early score prediction for that, I think it's going to be a thumping, a 4-1 defeat is what I will go with. That's followed by Leicester City, again at home on Saturday. They are competing and fighting against relegation. Their squad is full of very high caliber players indeed. That's going to be a real difficult test for us. That's followed after the international break away at QPR, Loftus Road, always a difficult place to go. And then Nathan Jones and Charlton come to the Vic. After that, we end the season against Coventry and Middlesbrough, and you can see why now I'm feeling so pessimistic and down. We could find ourselves right towards the bottom end of the table, and the club have to take responsibility for this. My feeling is that with season ticket renewals coming up and attendance is dropping, it could get very toxic and quite aggressive actually in the stands in the weeks ahead. And everyone who pays to go to football has the right to express their opinion. And if you are unhappy with the football you see and the direction of our club, I would urge you to express that when you are in the stadium. Look, where do we go from here? As I said, we have to play the remainder of the season out. Wrexham tomorrow, and willing Watford on to go and get a result. But as I've just shown you, with our injury list and our fixtures to come, I do fear slightly that we're in for quite a dire end to what was at the start a real promising season with a lot of young players. I think the lessons we've seen this season need to be learned. I would love our club, if possible, to recruit better, in the summer transfer window. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. And whilst it was exciting having a group of young players with a high ceiling, they've not performed consistently enough to get us into the top end of that championship table. When I look at clubs around us, Millwall especially have really kicked on. They don't really have many flashy, flary players in their squad, but what they do have is a core group who know the division, and they're all aged between kind of 25 and 30. They're in kind of the prime end of their career. They've been there, they've done it. They know how to get a team out of this league. And I think Millwall are a prime example, actually, of what we need to do going into next year. They've been consistent. They've stuck with their head coach. Coventry, again, have been building this project for several years now, and they're finally reaping the rewards with Frank Lampard. I'll leave it there for today. Thank you so much once again for watching. I really appreciate your time, and I do enjoy a good ramble as well. It helps me expel some pent-up energy I've had for the last few days after that defeat to Stoke City, and I hope it's been cathartic for you watching at home as well, to realise that it's not just you with these thoughts on Watford Football Club. Mistakes have been made this season. Mistakes have been made for the last 5 seasons, for example. Have lessons been learned? Only time will tell. Do I have faith in those at the very top to rectify them? No. But we're here. We are the consistent factor at Watford Football Club. The fans are what make football and our club great. And if we stopped going, as we saw during the pandemic, football is nothing without fans. So keep the faith. It will get better eventually, but it looks like it will be a dire end to the season, unfortunately. Don't forget to subscribe. You can follow us across all social platforms. We're here on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And I'll see you again very soon for our Wrexham reaction. Let's hope we can come away with 3 points. Bye-bye.